one of these. Okay.
Yay.
All right, ready?
Don't force me out of bed in your society. Don't push me down the road you're playing down. Don't try to fix my head. It's just your anxiety.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome back to Wine and Weeds in-person edition.
In-person edition. From where are we?
We're at Longwood Gardens in
Yes.
Pennsylvania, and it took Pennsylvania to get us together to talk about wine and weeds together. So here we are. You guys know Laura from How's It Growing. You know me. I'm Erin from The Impatient Gardener. And we're just going to kick back and have a cocktail here.
Right.
Now, listen, there's no cocktail making here tonight because there's no cocktails being served here at Longwood Garden.
No.
So I'm just drinking a Pinot Grigio. What are you drinking?
I have the Dogfish Pumpkin Ale.
Appropriate since we're technically at the beer garden right
Yes.
now. So actually, you're doing it right now.
I am
Beer
doing it
garden.
right.
So we've been touring Longwood today. We're here as part of an event called the Garden Bloggers Fling. You don't really have to be a garden blogger, you just have to be like a garden content creator.
Yep.
So we are here touring all day doing this. So we were looking for weeds, and we had a hard time, guys. We couldn't find any weeds to
No.
actually feature, right?
No weeds. No weeds. We did look.
I mean, we didn't like comb the forest floor,
Right.
but so it's like they have a staff here that manages these things.
You would think that.
right?
Yes.
So this is usually on Wine and Weeds. We each feature a weed, and we talk about how we're dealing with it and what to do with it. Since we can't find any weeds here at Longwood Gardens, I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what we saw here that we really liked, and then maybe we'll talk about a weed that's sort of vexing us this summer in our gardens.
Okay.
All right, so do you want to go first? What did you see
Sure.
here that you really liked?
Well, we just were walking through that orchid conservatory, which was chef's kiss. That was something special. And the lighting in there, it was incredible.
We
I
went
think
through
our-
there sort
the
of like
footage-
late afternoon, you guys, and the light coming through this conservatory was like, I'm just put a bed in here, I'm moving in.
It was pretty fantastic.
It was
It was
amazing.
pretty spectacular. So I really enjoyed that. And then the meadow was non-existent, unfortunately.
You guys, the meadow is gone. And do you know why? If you followed the news at all, you saw that there was an escaped convict from a Pennsylvania prison. And it turns out that he sort of holed up in Longwood for a long time, like a
time.
week or
Yes,
more.
yeah.
I mean, it took him 13 days to catch him, and I don't know how long he was at Longwood, but a long time. And what I've been told is that they mowed down the meadow as part of the effort to actually find this guy.
Yes.
So there's no meadow.
It's awful. It's awful. So I didn't get to enjoy that. We did
No.
not get to enjoy that. There was that one area we were walking through with the dahlias. That was spectacular. That was
I think that's called the Flower Walk.
Yes.
And what I noticed about that, to me, that was like, it just shows the importance of repetition in a garden.
Absolutely.
Because it was just, and it was interesting. It started with sort of really bright pinks,
Yes.
and it went to lighter pinks, I think, and then eventually we got to kind of an orange and
Yeah.
red section. So it clearly sort of flowed, but it was all repeating plants.
Yes, there was like swaths of coleus and then the gomphrena, and it was really, really beautiful. You would think somebody planned that,
I know. I mean, it's amazing how these things happen just by accident.
right? No, but that was great. And then there was that arrangement that we liked once you got down to the end, the pots.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good
That
too.
was so. Longwood does a lot of these sort of clustered pot arrangements, and I've been to Longwood once before, and I actually like the pots a little bit better than some of them look a little bit grown out. But this one that we came across had an agave,
It was
and
awesome.
secretia, and there was the compact orchid or the
Yes.
orchid. I'm not sure if it was
Oh, I love
compact
that
or the
one.
other one.
Yes,
Sun
the Sun
Patience in
Patience.
there, which we both agreed is the best,
best.
color of Sun Patience.
It is. Yeah.
The other thing I sort of got, I mean, you guys are gonna, this is gonna blow your minds. The other thing I sort of got a little nutty about here was Solidago. You guys, I got nuts about goldenrod.
You did, and but for good reason. It was really pretty.
It was, and that's only because, I really fight Canada goldenrod, and that is a native, but I still pull it because it's very aggressive. Like, you can't really have that in a home garden setting.
I wouldn't.
Because it's just too aggressive.
Exactly.
But there are really good native goldenrods that you can have. And so the one that I kept seeing, and it's not like this plant is new to me. I've seen this plant
Right.
before, yet I don't grow it, was fireworks.
It was beautiful. It really was.
Fireworks was really, and we saw it in two situations. We saw it sort of planted kind of at the edges of sort of woodlandy type gardens, and it was quite a lot taller and sort of rangier, and actually I kind of preferred that look. And then we saw it in full sun, packed actually along that flower walk. And it was much more compact and sort of dense. Beautiful in both places, but I actually think I preferred it more in the shadier spot where it clearly was stretching a little bit more.
Yep, it was really pretty.
So that's me going all the way to Pennsylvania to fall in love with goldenrod, but whatever.
Whatever it takes.
Okay, so let's talk weeds. What's your weed? How, in general, how's your weed situation been this summer, and what's been bugging you?
What's been bugging me the most is purslane has been, and don't tell me to eat it. I'm not eating it. Okay, I'm not eating it.
I'm sorry, I'm not eating it either. You're welcome to come to my garden.
There's
and
plenty.
You may pick it
Absolutely.
and you can eat it, but I'm
That
not.
has been a real bugger more than other years. And then I have sedge grass popping up in all of my garden beds, everywhere. And I'm noticing it this year for the first time.
So where is that coming from?
I have absolutely no idea. I'm wondering if a neighbor maybe has something and it's coming in from them, but I don't have anything.
So does that spread by runners, or does that spread by seed, or how is that moving into your garden? Do you know?
Seed, probably.
Yeah.
Seed, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But I'm finding it everywhere, and I'm combing through the garden, and I'm just like, here's some more sedge, here's some more sedge. It's just everywhere. It's everywhere.
So, and what are you doing for
Pulling
that?
it.
Just pulling it.
Pulling
yeah.
it. And then, I mean, that seems to be handling it so far, but I've got that new garden bed I put by the patio. It's everywhere. It's just infiltrated in there, and I don't know why. And I'm feeling like maybe there was a seed mixed in some of the topsoil I put in there accidentally or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
right. When you bring in new materials, sometimes you never know what's
because
coming
I've
with
never experienced it. And
Right.
there it is. I
Right.
don't like it. It's everywhere. So the purslane and that, and then of course I have clover everywhere, but that's intentionally.
We know that you love your clover.
Yes,
you
I
feed.
do.
Laura likes to feed her rabbits. Her local rabbit population. She apparently welcomes them in.
I like the
please,
money.
Please
Hey,
come
well,
in with the clover.
what can you do? What can you do? How about you, Erin? What are some of your?
Okay, that is a great question. Okay, it's Canada thistle, and people.
Oh, I hate that. I
people
have
are-
that, and it's
People are
awful.
watching this are probably like sick of me talking about it.
No.
But the reason it's gone nuts in my garden this year is that a neighbor across the road from us cut down a ton. They have a very large property. Cut down all their ash trees 2 years ago, and they were all dead. Now it's full sun, and we know that nature abhors a vacuum.
I'm in the same situation.
Yeah.
My neighbor behind me, very
Yeah.
similar situation, and the thistle comes over from there.
Yeah.
It
So what happened was the thistle was the biggest bully in the whole room. They have bull thistle and Canada thistle. That's to the west of us. We have a lot of strong winds from the west, and everyone on our side
it's
of the
blowing all
road.
over- yeah.
And this is actually a noxious weed that is actually illegal to grow and not manage. But at the same time, I am sympathetic to their plight.
Sure.
I understand
Of
that they didn't
course.
expect this to happen.
And now they have this empty land. It's just catching all this stuff.
Exactly.
And growing, yeah.
And I know that, I mean, they're very ecologically sensitive. They plant native trees.
Sure.
They get it. And my guess is that they are resistant to doing anything that might negatively affect the native species that are there.
Of course.
Unfortunately, they are doing that by letting that go, because that Canada thistle, those invasives, the reason invasive species are a problem is because they outcompete the native species. Long story short, I have a lot of Canada thistle. Now, Canada thistle, I mostly pull it because our ground is very sandy, so I actually can get down there. But if you know Canada thistle, you know it spreads by these epic, massive rhizomes. So really the best way I've done a lot of research, the best way to manage Canada thistle is to do an appropriate herbicide when it's in bud form.
Okay.
And that's really the way to deal with it.
I'm paying attention to this.
Yep. So I didn't do that this year. I've just been pulling it this year, but
That's all I've ever done.
It's clear to me that next year, like, it's going to be worse. The problem's going to have all this year's
It is,
seeds,
for
plus
sure.
last year's plants are
My
just going to come
whole
back.
of my fence where my arborvitaes are, that's all it is. Because the neighbors behind us, I mean, you can even see it blow, you can see the seed pods blowing.
Yeah.
It's that tall and that, overgrown back
Yeah.
there. So the thistle,
Yeah.
I have been using the Hoselink weed puller. Do you have that yet? Because I know you're a Hoselink fan.
I am, but I don't have that. Because, okay,
It's
I know,
very good.
I know you love that tool.
I do.
But to me, actually, I know you love that tool, and my neighbor has sort of a similar version to it. She's like, Erin, you got to use this tool.
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't tried it yet.
It's a good one. This weed puller is satisfying because you get to see that whole taproot, and you kind of get to take your aggressions out on it, and it's
So
like,
it really gets it, huh?
oh, it really gets it.
Okay.
Yes, there's like the satisfying pull,
good.
and then you can toss it.
That's good.
And I like that
That's
too.
good. Well, the problem with using the herbicides on Canada thistle. By the way, there is an herbicide that Roy Diblick told me about.
Okay.
That will treat Canada thistle and not kill other things.
I'm into that.
The problem for it is that here, let's see. I haven't. Hold on while I look up a note in my phone, and I think it's under thistle.
That makes sense.
Yep, it's under thistle. Transline. Okay. So Roy Diblick told me about this, and they use this to control thistle when it's totally out of control. But it is one of those herbicides that you have to have a license for.
Oh boy. Okay.
And sometimes you can buy things without a license, sort of on the internet.
But it would be worth it in this case.
Except, here's the problem. It's only now available in 2.5 gallons, which treats, and which is a concentrate, so you have to dilute that, which treats something like 5,000 acres or something.
Your lifetime supply.
And it's $750.
Okay, no.
And it only lasts for like 2 years before it's in effect. Like, you can't store it.
Okay.
So, like, it
doing
makes it
that?
impractical to buy as a homeowner, and technically illegal to buy unless you have a license to apply that. Anyway, there is something out there. So for people like my neighbor, they might be able to hire a company
That would come do that.
who can come do that.
That would be fabulous.
So
are they aware of the do they care about it?
We have talked to them twice.
Okay.
And I may or may not have also sent them some information about it in the mail. But
No,
it's all been very friendly. These are very nice people.
Very good.
I don't want to have a bad relationship with them.
No, of course not.
But I did send them an article from the paper because the local paper, subscribe to your local paper, by the way. The local newspaper had an article about how the county is now using their, they have a cedar. The county bought a cedar. Oh boy, this is a lot of mumbo jumbo. The county that I live in bought a cedar that will, I will say that in terms of weeds, I feel like this year I'm really seeing some of my labors have shown themselves to be worth it. Like some of these weeds that I've been consistently after, like I don't see them as much anymore. So I'm like, hey, it's worth it to keep going on it. Do you find that?
I do. Well, one thing for sure, I have in the past planted Morning Glory, which can be quite aggressive. And this year I have virtually zero. Like one or two.
So why is that?
I pull it.
You've been pulling it. So you've just been consistent about pulling it.
Consistently pulling it over the years, and now it's like gone. One or two.
Yeah.
And that's
well,
it.
there you go. So I think the lesson there is keep on top of things. If you're consistent with it, you really can make a difference, even if it seems like you're just spinning your wheels.
Catch it before it goes to seed, and you're in good shape.
Well, that's the other thing. And that is the best lesson. Like, if you can't get to it, like if life is crazy, you're like, I do not have time to pull. You can go out there with a weed eater, and if you have a big patch of something, just chop off the heads before it goes to seed, because at least you still have the problem you started with, but at least you're not creating next year's seeds or later this season, because some things will just start going right away. All right. Well, this was quite fun to do an in-person wine and weed.
Absolutely.
You guys, listen, we really planned on finding a weed here at Longwood
then
pulling it and talking about it, but the people here apparently are too good at what they do, and there are no weeds. No. Well, actually, now that I see it, I'm looking over at this wall over here.
Should I pull it?
Yeah.
Should we evaluate it?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go over there. We're going to go get this.
Oh, I know exactly what this is. It's Mazis reptans.
There you go.
It's Mazis reptans. That's exactly what that is. We'll put that back because we can't touch things here. But that's Mazis reptans. And how do I know this? Because I bought that plant when I had my koi pond, and I planted it. And it was one of those things in just your random nursery pot, and I planted it, and then my entire pond was Mazis reptan.
All right. Well, cheers, Laura.
Cheers.
Thank you. This was the
Thanks,
best. This was so
Erin.
best. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm sorry there haven't been more wine and weed episodes this summer, but we like to do them together. Like
Absolutely.
sometimes I've done a couple of solo ones. I don't like doing that. I love doing it with you, or sometimes we have a guest wine or weeder.
Absolutely.
But it's always fun. So thanks for hanging in there with us, and cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Too. We should edit this part out. Maybe I'll do a like. I keep. We're gonna do a Laura snort cut.
Specifically, there's just some.
Did you drop something down there?
Yes, I did. Sorry about that. That was good.